Go on if you're speaking.
My name's Renee Settles and I'm from Morenci, Michigan. And I want to know, you were in office for several years and we did nothing for health care. My health care costs went up and up and up. I have to switch jobs, I have to switch health care plans. My company where I work, the cost has gone up so much that they have to switch health care plans, which means I have to switch doctors because my doctor's not covered under their health care plan anymore. What are you going to do about that? Because my understanding is you already believe everybody has health care coverage because everybody can go to the emergency room. And I got to tell you, that doesn't work either. Because when you go to the emergency room and you can't pay for it, then you can no longer buy a house because your credit is stacked for life. So I want to know what you're going to do for me and for all of us who can't afford it anymore.
You know, probably, and I didn't say that earlier, so applause is fine. But I think it'd be helpful tonight if we refrain from too much exuberance on the issues either way, so we can make sure we have the time to speak. And I'm not necessarily here to campaign on what I would do in Congress. This is not a campaign stop specifically in that. It's an opportunity for my friends and neighbors to meet here and express their point of view. But the same health care proposal that I just spoke about would have assisted you. It allowed you to have, well, before you shake your head no, let me just say it would have dealt with people in the same situation as yours, that would allow you to carry your own health care plan. When you lost your job or left a job, you carry it with you. My idea is have portable health care plans that you will be able to afford, be able to carry with you, and ultimately then not have those pre-existing condition problems because you simply left and lost your insurance. You ought to be able to have your insurance as a plan that you own.
That's part of what they're doing now, but you're slamming that everywhere it goes.
Again, my legislation was offered. I was in the minority party, the majority party.
You were in the majority party for many years.
No, I was in the minority party. I was only in the Congress for 2 years, one term. And that's a matter of record. I wish I'd been there longer. But my bill was not taken up. But it's an issue to address, and again, it would give portability. It would give you the opportunity to own your health care plan, and it would give competition.
I have a grandson who's now 15 that at the age of 13 went in for a normal routine allergy shot here locally. And within 2 minutes of the shot, he had a severe anaphylactic shock. He went into full cardiac arrest. And because the facility didn't have any oxygen, he went for, they say, a period of 20 minutes without oxygen to his brain. So he's 15 now. This was 21 months ago. He's in a wheelchair. He cannot initiate movement. He cannot speak. And he's taking therapy twice a week. And, you know, as I read everything, what really strikes fear in my heart as a grandma is that people like Josh, at what point will someone say, you know, he is a non-productive citizen. He never probably, unless God heals him or the medical community comes up with some way to heal him, chances are that he will remain as he is. So I've been watching it very closely, what they're going to do about this, and it doesn't sound like they are it sounds like they'll be rationing health care, and he, along with the elderly, will be the first to be, whatever the word is.
My concern is I'm in kind of two categories now. I'm getting elderly and I am diabetic. And this is worrying me a lot, especially when I heard yesterday, now whether it's true or not, I didn't check on it, but supposedly a bunch of people who have come up from the South are getting dialysis for free, even though they're not United States American. And I'm going to get dialysis sometime in my life if I make it that far. But anyway, it just concerns me a lot about people that are here that are illegal, that are getting these services, and if they're going to stop, if they're only going to give out 10,000 dialysis a year, I'm going to be 10,001. And yet I'm an American citizen, and these people aren't. So it bothers me immensely. And I know this healthcare issue, it's bigger than that. You know, I keep saying, I listen to all the shows, and I keep saying it's more than just the healthcare. It's people that are trying to take over every aspect of our lives, like that gentleman was saying.
Keeps them from going in if this euthanasia bill is defeated. What keeps them from going back in later and tacking some of this stuff on another bill and getting what they want anyway? Right now I heard, or I read, that if a baby is to be born eventually, they're to decide whether that baby is to be born or whether they're going to wind up go ahead and do euthanasia. Basically, is what it amounts to, but whether they're going to wind up, somebody has to die before somebody can get born. And this basically starts to sound a little bit like the movie Soylent Green. I don't know whether anybody's heard of it or watched it, but it's a good idea to go out and rent it and take a look at it, because I think that's where this basically is headed. I would like to know if there's any way, aside from waiting every 2 years to get rid of the scum that is in Washington, D.C., that's taking our country down the tubes.
Could we get a clarification on this euthanasia of babies by Democrats? I'd like a clarification on what he's saying, please. That's what I heard.
Basically, what I read is that it will come to a decision whether a baby is to be born, somebody has to die first. And the way the Democrats have treated Sarah Palin, her son with Down syndrome, I wouldn't trust those people in a restroom.
Well, I think the key of your question was what would stop them from going back and changing and adding things, whatever it is to, in your mind or other people's mind, make it worse than even now.
Right.
There is nothing except for the activism of the American people. And that includes the voting booth, that includes meetings like this, that includes speaking so loudly that there are certain people that call groups like this or demonstrations mob force. Right. But it gets the attention. And I think that's the messiness of democracy. That's the responsibility that as citizens, and right now I'm Citizen Walberg. I don't have any title. I'm Citizen Walberg, and just like you, I need to stand up and make my concerns known as well, and be ever vigilant and diligent that I don't fall asleep again. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance, said by someone greater than me, and it's never so true as right now.
Well, the Democrats have taken over our schools, basically.
Well, I guess I don't want to get into a partisan issue here. I want to kind of continue to keep it as, and I know the feelings are here. In a room like this, there are Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and who knows how many other brands. That's America. There are Christians, there are maybe Muslims here, there are maybe Jews here, who knows, but we are here as Americans, or people as Americans. I think the key to your question is a good question. Too long, too many of us, lumping us all together, have let this happen. And those who say, well, I didn't vote for the present administration, well, did you get 1,400 people to go to the polls that didn't go? To take your point of view. And so I think the issue is the diligence of the people, and there is no assurance they won't go back and add to the bill that Tim Walberg would be the next dictator. There's no assurance unless the people continue to speak their mind, saying, enough, too far right now. Don't even try that again as long as I'm alive. And that's continued effort. So you bring up a good question. I think that's the only answer. That there is nothing stopping any Congress. The 110th Congress that I served in does not prohibit in any way, shape, or form what the 111th Congress does. And the 109th could not stop us from doing what we did in the 110th. It moves and it flows. Hopefully we stay within the confines of the Constitution. That is a pretty simple document if we follow it.